Being bumped from a flight can be a frustrating experience for most people, but for Fred Adams, an overbooked flight when he was in the 5th grade ignited a passion for flying.
I was sitting waiting for us to go, and pretty soon the flight attendants and some other people were having this conversation, and the flight attendant walked up and looked at me and said, "Please follow me, son." And so I thought I was in trouble, but as I got to the bottom of the air stair, there was my uncle, Uncle Jerry Schnediger, who was owned a flying service in Rapid City. And they had oversold 7 passenger seats on the DC-3, and they needed people to fly with him in his twin-engine airplane to Denver. And so Jerry knew that I was on the airplane, so he pulled me off, put me in the co-pilot seat of the Beech 18, and away we went.
After this initial experience, his Uncle Jerry didn't let Fred lose sight of the possibilities.
And kind of got a understanding of what flying's like and started to take some lessons. So then he started trading some, fuel and airplane, work with his uncle for flying lessons. And pretty soon, it didn't take long to realize that that was what he wanted to do. So, learning from his uncle was, I think for him, was pretty cool.
It wasn't long that he asked me if I wanted to take a flying lesson. And what 19-year-old doesn't want to go up and do some crazy things with an airplane? And so after about lesson number 3, I was completely hooked on flying.
As Fred worked his way through college, he accumulated flight time and soaked in the knowledge of senior aviators who mentored him.
Gaining all this experience was really an exceptional opportunity for me, and it was really great that in aviation that flight instructors will share all their knowledge with students without any holding back, and they're more than willing to share everything they know to make their student a better and safer pilot.
This knowledge and respect for safety served him well throughout his career as a mail carrier in South Dakota, as a pilot who flew FBI agents to Wounded Knee in 1975, and eventually as the first chief pilot for Basin Electric Power Cooperative.
So I was lucky enough to be their first chief pilot, and with outstanding help from the core group and management and the board of directors and the various CEOs, we've put together it may not be a world class, but it's certainly we'll put it up against any flight department for our safety record and how we try to conduct business safely and efficiently for all the members of the co-op. And so that's probably long term the biggest thing I'm proud of.
We have over 36,000 hours of flight hours without an accident, and that can be contributed to Fred and his leadership.
Everything that he does is done to the max, to the best, and he doesn't take anything less than the best as a passing grade. So if I'm playing racquetball with him, he's going to win. That's pretty much given. If he's flying, the needles are going to be centered, he's going to be flying precisely, he's going to make a beautiful landing, and he's going to give the passengers a nice ride and a safe ride.
He'd always preach safety this, safety that, and you don't really realize it, but it's not just a thing you talk about, it's a culture, it's a lifestyle.
In the past 30 years, he's developed a program that we have 9 full-time pilots, 4 full-time travel agents, 1 mechanic, 3 airplanes, and a state-of-the-art hangar. And it all can be contributed to Fred's hard work. Fred was always there 24/7. If you needed to call him on the weekends, I sometimes thought he lived out here, but I never could find an air mattress or a bed. But he, within 2 rings, he'd answer the phone.
Some people might have called him a workaholic and whatever, but he enjoyed it. He wanted to make sure he was ready. He wanted to make sure that flight plan was ready, make sure that he had the weather, make sure he had every piece of information he could have before he would fly, so he could make sure he did it right.
I've seen so many aviation programs just flying poor equipment that's poorly maintained, people that are poorly trained, and he really set the standard from the low level that it was to a really high standard, and with his work there and branching off into the NBAA to take those standards nationwide, has really put the state of North Dakota and the flying program that he started at Basin Electric in a great light.
Whether talking about Basin Electric's growth under Fred's reign or about UND's flight internship program, Fred believes no less than setting the standards high.
As we, upon your inspiration and guidance, created the best flight internship in the country, and to this day I think it still is. It's been a pleasure working with you. You've mentored and helped 23, 24 young professionals, introducing them to the corporate aviation, and it's been a long ride together, and it's been fun. And it's just one of many things that you have done to deserve this award.
Fred has been instrumental as an industry member helping to accredit collegiate aviation programs around the country. In fact, he has served on over 12 visiting teams, as well as the first industry member to chair these visits. Fred is also engaged in a lot of committee work through the organization and has chaired the safety committee over the last 8 years. Last summer, Fred was recognized with the Richard W. Taylor Award for the most outstanding industry member for ABI. This service is invaluable to not only the University of Aviation or University of North Dakota's aviation program, but for all of collegiate aviation.
Down-to-earth guy, interested in young people, wanting to see corporate aviation grow, and his contributions all are examples of his commitment to the growth and the future of aviation.
I've enjoyed your expertise and your sincere desire to get young people into this exciting career in aviation.
Again, not only just contributions to the university, but of aviation as a whole, uplifts us all.
Indeed, Fred's passion and commitment to aviation uplifts us all. Congratulations, Fred Adams, on your induction into North Dakota's Aviation Hall of Fame.